Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Your Next Business Bestie. My name is Jen Waybor Hart, and I am your host. I have a super special episode for you guys this week. For one, it's my first time having two guests at the same time on the show, but also it's two humans that I've known a really long time. One I've introduced you before, one I have not. But welcome, Krystina and Lauren, to the show.
Yay! Hi. Excited to be here.
Let's take a bit. And Lauren, I'm going to start with you because Lauren, you haven't been on the podcast before. But we'll get into what you guys do for work together. But why don't you just take a second to introduce yourself to the listeners? Some people watch, most people listen, and give them a little bit of an idea of what you do.
Yeah, so I am a photographer. I have a background in headshots and weddings and that kind of thing. And then I got started in food photography about 10 years ago. I'm from Virginia. I came here, it's been 15 years to Maine. And yeah, I've been doing my business pretty much that long. And met Christina, what, 9 years ago? Yeah. So, and
Wow.
we launched into something together. Yeah.
Yeah, and Christina, why don't you remind everybody what it is that you do?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Jen. Krystina Fisher. I own the Messy Cookie. And yeah, so basically, I am a baker who specializes in really trying to take cookies into more of an experience than just something you eat. So that's really where I kind of specialize that. And I offer branded sugar cookies, where essentially with this edible ink printer, it doesn't print on wafer paper onto a cookie. Just like that. Oh, that's Jack.
Those of
Oh
you listening, be sure to check out the video cast because Christina printed some cookies for me for my celebration of my 6 years in business. And this one has my tattoo of my cat that passed away on it, and it sits on my desk because I refuse to eat it. So, to give you guys an idea.
my.
Okay,
You
sorry, keep
guys.
going.
No, that's so, I love seeing that, especially that one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I can print photos in addition to logos on cookies. I got this printer to be able to do logos and get into working with businesses. But yeah, that just kind of leads a little bit into what Lauren and I ended up deciding to do together. But that's really kind of where I specialize.
Cool. And whoever wants to take it, fill in our listeners on what it is that you guys do together.
Wow, I'm so glad you asked. So, like I said, I used to do weddings. I also used to do photo booths. And when I got into food, I kind of stopped doing the photo booths, but I had one client that still wanted me to do their holiday parties. And I let them know that Christina does print on cookies.
Yeah.
And
Can I talk about how that
yes,
came in? Okay, so yeah, so Lauren's been working with this client for like a decade, right?
yep,
Maybe longer,
yep.
doing all of their holidays, all of their photo booths. They love working with her because she's amazing. And I was like, one day, it was the year that I got the printer.
Mhm.
It was that holiday season. So I'd maybe had it 7 or 8 months. And I was like, Lauren, I could print our selfie on this cookie. If I could print a selfie that we take with my crappy camera phone, like, what if? Do you think that your client would like think it'd be kind of cool to like print your pictures on them? And I think you knew that like they were such a fun client, they'd probably be interested.
Yeah, they're down for anything. And of course they ate it up. They loved it. And so yeah, we did it the first year. We
Yeah.
did it a couple more years
Yeah,
after
a couple
that.
more seasons. And that first night, I just remember it was so fun. So Lauren and I, just to kind of do a little bit of backpedaling with like how we met through networking. And over the years, we learned that we work really well together. Like you would hire me to help style some of your shoots. I
Yes.
would hire you to help ice cookies. Like we just work really well together. I always love to joke that like most of my friends who I know as friends, I don't know that I could go into business with them, like it's just hard. It's a different dynamic. But I think because you and I met under the pretext of business owners
Right.
and we hired each other for fun work and we'd like go out for cocktails occasionally. And now like we're like sisters. She was in, my wedding with you, Jen. And, so yeah, it just now when we get to find these events, so it started with the corporate like holiday event.
Right.
But now when we find these events where people want to have us do a cookie printing photo booth, it it's like playtime for us. Like we get to have so much fun together, along with like making sure that everything is running smoothly. But
Right. But it's an excuse to like go away for the weekend if it's
right.
like we just did a Bar Harbor wedding last summer and it was so much
Oh
fun.
my God. In by the sea, Bar Harbor. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's been a really, really fun time. Like, and the other thing too that I really love about this is that we are both very established in our businesses, right? Like, and not just it, like, I think we have really earned almost like the right, if not like the right to feel like we can put together a really well composed event, you know, like really a luxury experience. It's kind of the thing that whenever Lauren and I, whenever we connect, like that's what we talk about, wanting to try to, you know, just perfect and make it as really as nice as it can be.
And we love going to events. So we know how we would want to be or what we would like to have at an event as an attendee. So we kind of think of it from that perspective too. And that's why we just make it lots of fun. And the people who come by are having tons of fun and we are too. So it's really great.
Yeah.
I don't think we've actually said it. What is the
I
name
know.
of the business together?
So it's the Sweet Selfie Photo Booth.
Sweet selfie photo booth. Yeah.
And just to
It's
like kind of just factual give it to the listeners. So you guys offer a photo booth that prints their pictures on cookies. How long
at
does
the
the
event.
actual like how long
It's
do they walk is it before they walk away with their picture with their cookie picture?
it can be as little as 10 minutes just to let the cookie dry, but usually we say about 20 minutes. They can go walk around and come back, and then there's cookie is dry and bagged.
And yeah, and the other fun thing is that so a couple events in, like I said, you know, we keep trying to perfect it. We came up with these really beautiful little stands for the cookies. And so we got these cute little acrylic stands. They're tiered and they have like a cute little find your cookies. So we have when we do our setup, you know, we have the area for all of the what we like to call the prop bar, where all of our fun props are. We have the space where the actual photo booth is. We use a stand with a camera inside. And then we also have a separate table, which is like the cookie collection area. And so with that, we're able to, you know, people come through, they take, you know, they take some photos, have a really good time. Meanwhile, so Lauren is the liaison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, photo booth liaison, concierge,
Oh, I like that concierge.
experience concierge. Yeah.
Oh, all right. And then I get to handle the cookie printing part of it. And then we have a third person who we hire on who really helps make sure that like just everything stays tidy, the cookies move to where they need to go. Yeah, so it's a 10-minute process, but the cookies print live on site. So oftentimes people in line will be having fun looking at cookies printed because no one's ever seen printer print a picture on a cookie
Yeah.
before. So that in and of itself is like part of the fun experience, along with the takeaway of the party favor.
Oh, exactly. So you get your experience and your party favor, a tasty little treat. To take home or to give to they like people like to give them to their kids or other family members just to say, hey, look what I did. And yes, it is sad to eat, but you do get the gallery of photos. And I have seen people who lay it their cookie in resin or acrylic to capture.
You've seen that?
I have.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk. That's cool. All
It's so
right.
funny because we just moved and I came across all these old photo booth pictures from events, weddings, whatever. And I was like, why did I hold on to these? Like, there's people, most of the people in them I don't even talk to anymore. So I also like the idea of like you get the experience of taking photos, which, you know, we're millennials, we love taking photos. You get this edible, yes, you could, I mean, I'm sitting here with a cookie Christina printed for me months ago, but you get this edible favor because then on the flip side, when I was planning my wedding, trying to come up with favors that weren't just going to end up in a junk drawer, I didn't
Right.
do favors at all because I just decided there was nothing that wasn't going to end up in a junk drawer. Um,
Preach.
but from a bride standpoint, something that people can have a blast doing that take home. I mean, that's exactly what I would do. I'd give it to Elena when I got home and tell her to eat it. But yeah, I love that part of it too, that it's an experience. There is a favor involved, but it's not going to end up in somebody's junk drawer more than likely. It's going to end up probably consumed, which is cherry on top.
Exactly.
Let's back up a little bit though. Again, for those watching, Krystina and Lauren are sitting in their space in Portland, Maine. How did that part of all of this, because this was before the photo booth came into play, how did this space and you guys taking on this space together? Because I personally know what an adventure it was to try to get the space open. So take us back in time and share that part of your story together.
Can I tell the playful part first, then you tell like the logistics of everything? Okay. No, just kidding. Oh my God, the life that this has been. Okay, so we need to rewind back to, it was going into 2021, New Year's into 2021. Lauren and I were hanging out together, of course. And I was feeling really good. We were partying, having a great time. And I was like, oh my God, Lauren, can you imagine? You're a food photographer. You need a kitchen. I'm ready to grow out of my kitchen. I need a kitchen. Like, what if someday we could just like work together in the same space? Okay. Then, like, haha, whatever. We have a great night. Maybe 2 months later,
Yeah.
you text me and you're like, so I found a broker and we're gonna go see a couple spaces tomorrow. Do you want to come? What? Anyway, okay, I'm gonna let you dive into like what happened there.
So yeah, I am cursed with being painfully optimistic. And you can just go see a few spaces. There's no commitment. But of course, once we got into it, we saw about 20 spaces in Portland and Greater Portland. And then we found our space, and it was kind of like, it's decision time. Are we doing this? And we decided we were.
Yeah, it sounded like from when I mean, almost as long as I'd known you, you have dreamt of being able to have your own photography studio with like where you could rent it out to other photographers, but less of just like a rent kind of thing and more of like create a community kind of
Exactly.
feel.
Yeah.
And I just always thought that that was such like a wonderful mission, like to be able to cultivate kind of this community here in Portland of photographers. And then, as we kind of would dream about it when we'd like hang out and stuff, like we would talk about like maybe being able to put on workshops, maybe being a space for other creatives. What, really, what are the possibilities if you give us 2,000 square feet
Oh
and,
my gosh. Yeah. Can you
some
see all
fun?
this? Yeah. Um, yeah. So like
What's the
Krystina,
name?
uh, the photo kitchen. Yes. So it kind of marries everything that we offer here. So we do have a full kitchen that can be used for cooking and for photographing or videoing. And then there's of course space for a photo, like my photo studio area, and then Krystina's messy cookie,
The bakery, which is where we are right now.
yes.
Mhm.
So like Krystina said, I'd always wanted a space to call my own as a photographer, and I've been in Maine 15 years and I've had about five different studios, and they were never mine. Like I never had like a dedicated space, or I always had to clean up my toys, like clean up my lights and all my stuff every time I was done. And it was just a pain. And I had a teeny tiny little closet, and I have probably thousands of props that I didn't even know what I had because I couldn't see it. Now it's all displayed along the walls.
Like tempted to turn the camera. Okay. So I'm sorry for your listeners who like,
Just have to
okay,
put
so
stuff
like
in.
all of
Oh, no.
these, they're
There's photos on social media when the episode goes live. I'll have you guys send me some photos that I can share in the post
yeah.
so
Oh,
that everybody
great.
can see it. Yeah, it's a huge,
Dude,
I
let's
will
just
say, the first time I saw it, which I don't even know when that was, to be honest. I mean, you guys were deep in construction mode. I must have flown home for a couple days and Krystina showed it to me. I was shocked by how much space you guys have. I did not, I mean, one, Krystina probably told me the square footage, but my brain is like, cool, those aren't real numbers.
Right.
I don't know what that means. Like somebody asked me how big our backyard is, like how many square feet, and I was like, I have no idea. So I had no comprehension of the fact, like 2,000 square feet, you guys have a ton of space. And it's been amazing watching the journey. And I know the struggles with construction and all of that fun stuff for anyone listening that is open to physical space at all, but then include anything food related that's being
Oh my
like
God.
I remember all the messages from Krystina of that journey. Um, but you guys ended up opening, I mean, Krystina, you have your bakery open to people where they can get coffee and cookies uh every Friday and then one Saturday a month, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I remember that.
Lauren has been really generous with allowing me to kind of like take over the whole front I don't know, quarter or so of the space every Friday. And I do pop-ups the second Saturday of every month. I'm having a really hard time giving up my weekends because, that's the only thing I wanted to change about any job I ever had in the past,
Yeah.
like working retail and working bartending. I just wanted my weekends back. So, when we start to hire, I think it'll be cool to be able to be open, hopefully
Right.
Saturdays, Sundays. But yeah, every Friday, here opening up a bakery, like a shop, that was never part of my plan. With opening the Messy Cookie, I wanted to focus on cookie decorating events and decorating cookies. Like that was it. And when we moved into this space, it actually required us to have an actual location where you walk in and have walk-in business with regular weekly hours. And so of course, I jumped on board, but I did not know how much I would love
Mm,
just like getting to, I don't know, like the community here, they're so warm and welcoming, and it's so like just warm and fuzzy, and like
yeah,
people coming in every Friday, and it's a really, really great time. And I think it's opening my eyes to a whole other side of the messy cookie that I am transforming into like an entirely different type of business owner than I ever have been before. And I'm really excited about the direction it's going.
that's amazing. Okay. We could venture into your businesses individually for hours at a time. I mean, Christina and I
Yeah.
already did that once. But I really want to talk about this dynamic of friendship, and you've talked about it a little bit, but friendship and co-business owners on multiple fronts. So
Right.
not only do you share this space, which honestly, sharing space can be one of the hardest things with anyone, right? With a partner, with a child, with a friend, figuring out the dynamics there, but also then launching this whole business together. So, how do you guys balance between business and friendship? How do you make sure that every conversation isn't about business? Phoebe is yelling to say hi to you guys. And how do how do you take time? Phoebe says hi. How do you take time to both be business owners together, but also spend time just as friends and figuring that out?
I think every great relationship needs a safe word.
That's like been the biggest blessing. Oh my God. So I noticed, so one day we had probably been here for a couple months, like actively working in here. And Lauren would just be like, "Oh my God, I have to talk to you later." Like, or like text, like, "Oh, can you chat later?" Like, just like update me with what's going on in your life. But I just remember the stress that I would feel, the pit in my stomach of like,
Mm,
oh my God, am I not, you know what? I haven't been doing my dishes as often as I should be. I'm not cleaning as much. Oh my God, I'm a terrible like tenant. Oh my God. Like I was feeling so much. And then like I'd come and I'd see you all braced to like, okay, I need to be, I deserve whatever's coming to me. And you would just say like, my God, like, I had to tell you about this thing that happened. Oh, I had such a great shoot yesterday. Oh, whatever.
Right.
And so that's when we came up with the idea of like a safe word. And so we have a word, we call them our bucket conversations.
okay.
So if we ever need to talk money or like logistics or just like if things,
Dynamics.
The
yeah,
uncomfortable conversations that just have to
yeah,
happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we kind of preface that by saying, okay, I need to have a bucket talk. Is that, let's set up a bucket talk. And so we both know to be prepared and just, come with that
Yeah.
right,
intention.
right. Feel open, feel like, yeah, just ready to like have a different kind of conversation.
Yeah. But also, even before all of this, when we officially signed up for the lease here, the photo kitchen, we were like, okay, we're best friends and we don't want to mess this up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't lose you. So we need to figure this out because this is something special. And I know that this could be really great. And I want to do this. I just want to do it the right way. And so we tried to think of all the things that could just go south
Yeah.
and try to figure out ways to approach them so that we could just stay on track. And I'm very proud to say that we've been really great in that dynamic before the photo booth,
Oh,
just
yeah.
just sharing this space here. And so I think that helped us be prepared to not even like, oh, you want to start a business together? Oh, sure, let's do it. Like, because we already had this background of we we understand how this works. And owning a business is definitely a little different, but I think at least for me, I felt more comfortable knowing that we had already kind of crossed that line
Mm.
of, sharing a space and it's all that.
It's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
almost like we had, sorry.
Just real quick, it's interesting because you guys took this really interesting path that makes sense. You went from doing business together, right? Like you talked about helping with each other's businesses to sharing a space with your individual businesses to now having a business together. So it's almost, it was like
Right.
the unintentionally the
Right.
perfect stepping stones for you guys to have this business together. Christina, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that I think that the step to move into the same place and, so Lauren, I think it's okay that we share the logistics, like the technicalities, like you rent the space, I sublease
Yep.
from you,
Right.
or however that the word is, lesser
Right.
lease. So I rent from you.
Hmm.
I mean, everything from in the beginning to, yes, I mean, the whole point of us signing the lease on this huge space was the idea of us to do this together, but like you were very open with, okay, can you sign a 1 year lease with me? This is a 7 year lease that we signed, right? Like we had a 7 year commitment and I appreciated the 1 year, like just allowing me the opportunity to like, and we planned a check-in at 9 months to say like, okay, like at 9 months, let's talk. Is this the kind of thing where like, you were like, is this the kind of thing where like, I'll need to be looking for other tenants? Like, is this the kind of thing, like, and also when you mentioned, just for anyone listening who's like thinking about doing this kind of thing, like going into business with a friend, and when you say like we think about any place that it could go, I don't know that wrong is the right word, but like let's say awry.
Yeah.
I I mean, we literally went down the path of like, what if one of us gets pregnant? What if one of us needs to move in with a parent down in a new state? What if like what are we open to? What are we aware that we're committing to? And I think but I think that all of those logistical conversations that we've had, in addition to like just learning how to like have real conversations as like
Right.
co-business owners and friends. That's why it felt kind of comfortable going off with the idea of the sweet selfie. And even with that,
Yeah.
when we made that decision, so what was interesting was with the photo kitchen, this was definitely more of your dream to have the space, and I'm excited to be a part of it. With Sweet Selfie, since I own the printer, we decided to invest in an actual photo booth. We went
Right.
in and we split that machine 50-50. And that was kind of our big first, like, oh, we're doing this, But we even had a conversation in the beginning there of like realizing that, this might not be something you realize you want to be a part of longer term. Am I still open to doing this, on my own? If it's, you just have to have those talks,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I think that it's and what Sweet Selfie has become over the last couple years that we've been, getting into it has even shifted so much just based on experience.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we've got a really strong flow going with that. Like it's just so amazing and it's so I'm just so proud when people are like, this is amazing. Like can't believe like I'm so excited about what you guys are doing and it's just fun for other people to get as excited as we do
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
It sounds, I mean, if we're gonna make it really simple, it's when working with friends, it's communication, right? Like open,
Yes.
honest. And I mean, Christina and I have a great, we don't have a safe word, but I will say, I mean, you and I have never had a business together. We've done business, but we also talk about business a lot back and forth. And I think something that works really well for us, just for people that are friends with other entrepreneurs, is you and I will ask each other, do you just want to vent or do you want advice? Because like when I have a nightmare client or shit goes wrong, and I know Christina's going to be the one to understand because she's probably had a similar nightmare client, but sometimes I don't want advice. I don't want to know how to deal with them. I already know how to deal with them. I just need to tell you somebody how much the situation sucked. And I think just having that open and honest, like, and we'll even catch ourselves like, oh, wait, did you want to vent or do you want advice?
Yes.
It all comes down to communication, which for anyone starting out, especially, it sounds so simple. It sounds ridiculously simple, but it really is. And I think for you guys, you've have such open, honest conversations that I'm sure even when things get sticky, you know how to talk through them. Was there anything design wise in the physical space that you guys disagreed on?
The curtains.
I- the curtains. Thank God I just sat back.
Yeah, we worked with a good friend who's an interior designer, and And my main thing is I just didn't want to have all my equipment on display, but we have such beautiful light. So we put up blackout curtains that happen to be gray. And Christina's like, are those inside out? Can we turn those? Can we make the white or the white face in? Or I was like, they're more for function.
They are, they do work. They're beautiful. These are the original ones, right? Yeah. Yeah. I learned through this experience aesthetically with the space. I just had to trust you and Robin. Robin's the name of our friend who, if anyone's in the Maine area and you're
Yeah.
looking for some design, Robin Davis Interiors, she's amazing. Oh yeah, Jen, you've worked with
She was one
Robin.
of my very first VA clients was Robin
Yeah,
for social
yeah.
media for a
Oh, she's
short
Love
time.
amazing.
working with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, but so I learned that you guys would so kindly come to me and say, Krystina, we're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z for this space. And I just be like, really? Okay. Like some things I would like you guys would allow me to like, but I at some point I just learned to kind of, okay, all right, we'll just see how it goes. And man, I mean, but it all came together so gorgeously that
To be honest, I also do that with Robert. But she's got a beautiful eye and I
Yeah.
just trust her as well. But like, yeah, she just sometimes has a vision. I'm like, sure, just go for it. But yeah, she had this amazing idea for our kitchen. It's an open concept. The shelving, it's reclaimed wood, floating shelves, and then this beautiful honeycomb ombre, dark blue to light blue tile. And yeah, and it's not even tiled the full wall. It's just like it
It's
looks like
beautiful.
waves. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're really trying to mimic the main essence of water and the surface is a marble or granite.
granite, yes.
Yes, black and white,
Mhm.
wavy. Yeah. So with that and the reclaimed wood, it's very like beachy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Huge
my
shout out
favorite
to
part.
Robin. She is
Yes.
incredibly talented. I had the pleasure of working with her. I don't know how long we worked together, but I think she was my first social media client when I went out on my own. I think it was either her or Joanne with Tint in Falmouth. They were right around the same time, which both technically came from you, Christina, because you introduced me to Robin. And
Oh
then
yeah.
Joanne, your friend, I think her name's also
Lauren Myers.
Lauren Myers, introduced
Yeah.
Joanne and me. Yeah, so that's really funny. I hadn't totally made that connection before. Okay, so let's talk logistics of the photo booth. So, what can a potential client expect at an event? How customizable is the experience? Where are you guys? You guys are in Southern Maine, but where are you willing to travel to? Give us kind of the rundown of how the photo booth works.
Yeah. So pretty much we have three tables. Like Christina said, we have the prop table, we have her station for her cookies, and then we have the photo booth. So it's a free form
And the
just
cookie pickup.
and the cookie pickup,
Mhm.
yes. The photo booth is a freestanding box, and then it's got the display there, and people can touch the button, or they can have me, the concierge, push the button. Like for larger groups, it's helpful so they can already be in position, don't have to like touch and then go back. Um, but yeah, we are available to travel. Yeah, and we have had several requests. What, DC, Nashville,
Vegas,
Vegas, yeah.
Florida. Yeah. I mean, so we have the furthest we've traveled, we've only stayed in state so far, but we've gone hours like, up to Bar Harbor and um yeah, we are happy to travel. The thing is that while a photo booth might sound difficult to travel with, it's really not because it's a stand.
Mhm.
It packs into like this really awesome rolling case that they like that it came with. And like, we're willing to have fun,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we look at every opportunity to travel as like just a fun experience.
Right.
So that the cookies travel easily, so I know that a lot of people often think weddings when they hear this, which we love to do weddings, but the corporate events are really fun too. And like trade shows are the thing that we've done a lot of quotes for so far, that are kind of further out.
Yeah.
And yeah, essentially it's very customizable to answer that. Everything from being able to have like a company's logo on the front of the cookie, like superimposed over all of the people who take photos. So, so if Lauren and I were to go through the photo booth and then, we see Verizon's logo on it when we like take it home from the trade show or wherever to like eat it, we're like, oh, right, really cool. But, like,
Right.
so, and on top of that, there are tons of like vendors and stuff that we can work with, even like small shops on Etsy that have customizable bots.
Yes.
So we can get step and repeats with like, Mr. and Miss So-and-so's last name. I mean,
For the logos, the
yeah,
company logos. Yeah.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
a
What
lot.
kind of events do you guys want to be doing? Like, if you could pick, what kind of events, what would you like to be doing?
We do a handful of weddings a year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, because we don't want to book up every weekend, right? Like again, like
Exactly.
we want to be able to do this for fun, and we're not up yet with technology where we feel comfortable hiring for someone to handle all of that. It's a goal down the line for sure, but I think trade shows are something we're really
Yeah.
interested in.
Well, and we had another quote for something at an art museum or an art space. I think it's going to
Oh,
be super, super fun and
yeah,
like just funky. I
yes,
think the more creative, the better, but yeah.
yeah,
And also like the Portland Museum of Art.
yeah.
They have two bashes a year. I think we would be a
Mhm.
really good fit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of like besides the idea of like corporate events in the team building space, kind of like the whole luxury event feel,
Mhm.
like that's really what we want to focus on. Like becoming kind of a member of that like luxury event community, I think.
Yeah.
We really provide a higher tier quality than what I think most vendors in the photo booth space offer. Even that's even just part back to like some of the planning and stuff just as business owners. I remember thinking, okay, Lauren, so like, do we want to, I know that we want to offer it with the printer, but like, what pricing tier do we want to offer for without printed cookies? Just thinking like we were looking at our competitors and like how they
Mhm.
do their pricing. And one of the things that you said that I just loved and we've stuck to is, well, like we are a cookie printing photo booth. We
Right.
want to stick to that level of experience, quality, luxury, like because could book something less expensive that doesn't have that. Like, I don't want that to be an add-on.
Well, exactly. I don't want to undermine what we are already doing. I would hate for us to be booking a ton of business without the cookies and then kind of lose that because that's not why we started this. We started this because we're so special and unique with the cookies. And because we just happen to be a baker and a photographer who are best friends and just happen to have an edible photo booth. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what sets us apart.
Yeah, I mean, as you both know, stories are my thing, and I think you guys have such a unique, cool story that has like led to the perfect business for you to do together. Is there anyone else offering photo booth cookies at events?
Mm, we've seen like a handful,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's not like, but there's not a, it's interesting because people want something more unique. My friend Shalisa
Yeah.
does gourmet marshmallows. So she does marshmallow
I
bars.
loved her episode.
Yeah.
Oh, she had an episode, right?
Yeah, she was I think she was my
The S'more Company.
episode of the podcast. She is so cool. One of my favorite things about her, and I bring this up all the time, is when she had like any doubt about her business, she kept telling herself, if someone's gonna do this, so why not me? And
Mhm.
that like I come back to that a lot. Like, yeah, someone's gonna do this thing, so why not us? Someone's gonna offer a cookie experience at events that combines photography, so why not you? But yeah, she offers marshmallow s'mores bars at events, which is really cool. Like people are just looking for new ideas and ways to mix things
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. There are companies that offer it. I think that most of the other companies that offer cookie printing as a photo booth option, that's the thing. They're a photo booth company and they offer cocktail printing, like cookie printing, like they just offer it as one of the 30 different things that they do.
Right.
Um, and yeah,
And the other thing is that Christina is a baker and she's perfected this sugar cookie. What do you call it? A shortbread sugar
they
cookie?
do.
Yes. And so it's on the more savory side, but it's the icing is wonderfully sweet. And so it's perfect combination. So it's not just like, hey, I just grabbed a bunch of cookies and I'm printing on it. It's like Krystina has put her heart and soul into this recipe and they actually taste good. So you don't always get that with these custom cookies, custom sugar cookies. They're not always putting flavor first. They're
Yeah.
just trying to find something that you can print on, but hers, you can do both.
So
Well, thank you. Yes. Yeah.
how do you balance advertising and all the ins and outs of this business together?
So I would say that we are still very new into advertising into outside of social media, right? Like that's definitely been our main thing here. Um, we have been utilizing Instagram a bit. We are now investing in our website. It's existed so far online just in the capacity of like a page on the Messy Cookies site. So we're now finally moving that. So this is kind of the year that we're really diving into that.
Right.
What Lauren and I have found is that like I have a knack for kind of a lot of like the sales side and like the conversations and stuff. And I think when we can both have these conversations with the clients, it's really just it's a wonderful vibe that we're able to like have with them. And then Lauren, you're really one of my favorite things about our relationship in every professional capacity, and I'm noticing that will definitely come to fruition with Sweet Selfie is that you are such a strong, like you, Lauren, have so much. What is the word? Like you just use something it needs done and it gets done. Like there's not a question as to whether or not it happens. It's something's on the to-do list and you take care of it. And whereas I have a hard time with like executing things on the do list, I can make the do list. I can come up with, I do a lot of like fun, fluffy conversations. I think that's where a lot more of my skill set is. But when I have all these inquiries coming into my inbox, I have a hard time of like being able to time for them and all that good stuff. So we've realized that like, okay, it's Laura going to be handling a lot more of the logistics and like just that behind the scenes, like where our skills lend them to be, you
Mm.
know?
Do you guys know
Yeah,
your
I definitely lean on you.
diagrams or your strength finders?
Oh, I haven't done it in a while, so I don't. But you do.
I know mine. I'm a three-wing four
Yeah, that's what I
for
thought.
sure.
Do you know your strength finders?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know what that is.
So Clifton Strength Finders, I think it would be really interesting for you guys to do it. This test has been around forever and ever, and it's used a lot in corporate teams. So you can it gives you a ranking of 34 different characteristics of you as a human, and it tells you your top 10. And they're categorized like strategic thinking, influencer, that kind of thing. And I am willing to bet if you guys took it and put it side by side, you'd see that like where there's, for lack of better term, gaps for one of you, that the other one fills it in. And I would be really intrigued to see your strength finders. There's a book that goes with it, but you can just go online and take it. Like one of my number one is activator. So activating people to do whatever it is they want to do, and a learner, and I learn a lot from input. But it's a fascinating one for when you are looking at how you work as a team. So I think it'd be really cool to see how the two of yours, but when you do get to that hiring point, it can be a cool tool to see where you need other people to fill in some gaps that maybe both of you have. It's one of my favorite
That's
tools for
interesting.
hiring a team.
Love that.
Yeah.
We need a mini Krystina and a mini Laura. Part A and part B.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. Oh, I'm excited to do that. We can look
Yeah.
into it later. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Cool.
sure. And Lauren, I'd be curious to
That's
know your
awesome.
Enneagram. I have an idea, but
Yeah.
I don't ever say them out loud because I don't ever want to influence people. But I've gotten pretty good at figuring out what people are. And I have a pretty good idea. So if you take that one, I would love to know your results as
Okay.
well. For those
Yeah.
listening,
I'd love to.
there's a lot of personality profiles out there. It can kind of get overwhelming, but especially as an entrepreneur, I think individually it helps us see ourselves a little bit more. I'm a type 8 Enneagram, which can come off very assertive. So I know that, or, I get told that I'm intimidating, which is, I talked about this on another episode, but crazy to me because I don't think of myself as intimidating. But that's my 8. That's my like getting shit done and being a little bit of a savior for the people that I love in my life. But I'm also a wing 7, so I will take off to Europe and hike 100 miles too. So it's great to get to know yourself better, but especially when you get to hiring, I think gone are the days of just looking at somebody's resume and references and instead taking the time to look at the human being and how they're going to hopefully complement you as a human and your traits and your strengths and all of that. So I think Strength Finders would be really, really cool to see you guys together for sure.
Noted. I also really enjoy like the human design thing. Like, I think that that's really cool. Have you done yours?
I haven't, but
Jen, you've done yours. Which
Oh
one are
yeah.
you?
I'm a reflector, which is less than 1% of the entire
Oh, that's
human
so
population.
rare.
wow.
And I have a personal goal of meeting another reflector and like literally when my friends have kids, I pull their human design to see if they're a reflector because I so desperately want to find another reflector in this world.
That's so
What are you,
funny.
Christina?
Manifesting generator.
Of course.
Sounds great.
No
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to a T. Like, okay.
Yeah. Your face is next to manifesting generator in the dictionary. Like, here you are. All right. So what are your goals with the photo booth? Where do you guys want to see this business go?
It's a great conversation for us to have for time.
Gosh, yeah, I would like us to travel somewhere. Obviously, I've said it like 10 times, but
You're manifesting it. You're putting it in the universe.
I am. So we are going to travel this year
Yeah.
for Sweet Selfie. Where do we want to
I'd
go?
like to go to three new states this year.
I love
Three new
it.
states.
I
That
love
could
it.
be as close as Massachusetts, but also could be like Vegas, could be.
I love it.
I,
So
I
put
can
it in your
suggest
calendar.
Colorado.
It's happening.
Colorado's a beautiful
Yeah.
state. You
Yeah.
could
Yes.
Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So I think that I would like for us to be able to book, I'd like for us to be able to book like 3 weddings in Bar Harbor.
Mm.
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Girls'
no,
weekend.
no, no, all on Saturdays, and then we can go in Friday and enjoy the weekend.
We lost our housing.
Yeah, right. I know, right? Yeah. So we were able to stay with my dad, who currently lives in Ellsworth, so for anyone who doesn't know Maine, which is probably most people listening to your podcast, Ellsworth, the town's like half hour outside of Bar Harbor. So it was nice. We were able to stay there for that wedding. Yeah, I'd like to book a couple harbor weddings, and I would also like to do a couple. I think to see what it's like to get more into the trade show space.
Yes.
You know why? Because we can book more events midweek, and that works for us. Like we can travel midweek, we can be there midweek. Like even
Our
if
weekend.
right, yeah. Like I mean, just to be realistic, like that's what we're looking for in growing our business. Being able to find. So when I say trade show, it doesn't need to literally be like a booth. It could be where the entertainment for like the cocktail hour of a trade show, like that guy down in Florida we spoke with. Like there's, yeah, that's kind of an area I'd really like to see us explore more this year.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. I have one more question before we talk about how to reach you guys. And I'd like you to think of this question specifically with the photo booth. I know you both have your individual businesses, but the question is, what is the fire that keeps you going when shit gets hard?
Ooh. I think we're just getting into our sweet spot. I did not do that on purpose. I feel like we've been kind of building to this moment and we're just about to get to where like this has all been working towards.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can't let it go now. Like we're creating this thing. It's in utero. No, but it's reaching it's reaching its place.
Right. It's almost like if we were, like, let's say things were to get hard, like what would this all been for? Right. And not like a sunken cost fallacy kind of thing, we're like, oh, we've been doing this, we haven't been doing it that long, but we're finally in a sweet spot. Like we really
Right.
are.
Like our sweat equity has
Mhm.
sweat equity than we have in our equipment. But yeah, I feel like it's all coming together.
That exactly. And on top of that as well, like we're learning what, like every event, we learn something that makes it a little bit better. And I think like we're also kind of coming into our own into what we're doing at each event. Like we're gaining confidence. We're gaining, you know, I don't, of course, like on like a public platform like this, I don't love like the idea of like implying that there is not confidence, but with each event, like with every client you have, you gain more confidence in that
Yeah.
direction. It's just, in the beginning, it felt like, oh, this is like a fun thing that we could do together, like we're best friends, like this would be fun. Why not? And now it's like, oh, this is like an elite experience that we put on.
Right.
And like we're just learning like how to. So I think it's that belief system is what keeps
Yeah.
me going. Yeah.
I think that confidence piece you touched on is really important because even by what you said, like it's a little nerve-wracking to put it out into the world, those nerves when we start doing something. But I think that's such a common thread with entrepreneurs that we need to talk about more. That like sometimes it is a fake it till you make it. And but as you said, with the experience, your legitimate confidence grows. I mean, for me, I sent a newsletter out yesterday that was purely about my strategy sessions. And that is so far out of my comfort zone. As Krystina knows very well, and Lauren, you might know too, I suck at advertising myself. Like that is like I do as I say, not as I do, because I hate talking about myself. So sending that newsletter out yesterday was super nerve-wracking. And I wanted to go see how many unsubscribes I had immediately. But none of that matters. Like it's just kind of a fake it till you make it, and that confidence comes with time. And that can be as simple as a newsletter that's actually putting out one of your offerings to an entirely new business that you guys didn't know what it was going to work. I'm sure like even table placements of what makes sense, of what goes where. And that's different every time too, right? Because you're in a new space, so you have to adjust. Um, so I just think that confidence piece for entrepreneurs is something we have to talk about more because it is a reality for so many of us.
Right. Right. That's true. Right. Like the purpose behind your podcast, like you're talking to entrepreneurs, right? Like that's who listens to this podcast. So like, yeah, owning the fact that like, yeah, we had a couple ideas of like how it would work, but yeah, everyone has felt like, okay, how are things going to work in this capacity? How are they? It probably took maybe 4 or 5 events before we started to feel like, okay, great. We know we need, we just did an event a couple, not last Friday, but whatever, Valentine's
Yeah.
Day. And it that was kind of the first quote that I'd sent out a response back to. It was great, Lauren. Can you just confirm the size tables we need? You sent them back. I was like, "Hey, we did this. It's starting to feel more like, yeah, this is what we do, and becoming and also allowing yourself to feel that confidence instead of like second guessing everything just because, oh, we've only done X number of events. We've only done this. Like, yeah, like allowing yourself to feel the confidence, like, yeah, this is what we do.
Exactly. And I think part of it is that we both are experienced entrepreneurs. This is not our first
Right.
business. It's our first business together, but it's not our first business individually. And so we come with that experience, even though this is a whole new thing we've never done. I feel like we had the confidence right from the start in that perspective, saying like we may not know how to do this exactly, but we will know,
Right.
or we're gonna get there.
Right. And there were ideas that we'd had of like, okay, great. After like X amount of events, we plan to be hiring to be able to have like a team of people who can be, taking this printer and the thing. And what happens when we get to a place where we need more printers and we need more this and we want more staff. And but then we go through events and we're like, okay, great. Like maybe that's further out than we thought, but being able to feel comfortable with assessing what your original plan was and being able to have the humility to understand that you didn't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. And I think so many people are so tied to like, but this is what we're going to do. Like, this is the plan. That that's where so much of the difficulty really comes into play of like being a business owner. Like, if you can pivot, you're gonna be so much more successful in the long run. Like, and just realizing, like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought after this number of events I'd be comfortable to send people out with brand new technology combined with like our name with representing someone's wedding, like,
Yeah.
but like it's cool. This isn't our primary source of income. This is very much a, just something that
Yeah.
we're learning and we look forward to building.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing too, is that I would hate to give up and not know what it could become. I'm so excited to see where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it's just funny that like one of our first couple events, we didn't even have a stand for the cookies to go on. They were just like on a tray, which is fine. People were kind of like digging through. We're like, oh, we should probably have a nice little stand so they can just like look at them and just be like, oh,
Yeah.
there's my photo. Yeah.
Yeah, that pivoting, that's something that comes up in the podcast a lot, is pivoting as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I think the stricter we are in our plans, the more the universe laughs at us. Uh,
Yes.
like you just have to be willing to know that things are going to go wrong, and it's not the things going wrong, it's how you adjust to them. All right. The three of us could talk forever, but we are nearing the end of time. So, Lauren, I would love to have you on an individual episode.
Yeah.
Krystina, I'm sure I'll have you back. But if people are interested in finding out more about either one of your businesses along with the photo booth, give us all the contact info, and I'll make sure it's in the show notes.
Yes, definitely. You want to start? Are we? Yeah. So my photography business is Lauren Lear Photography. It's laurenlearphoto.com, at Lauren Lear Food on Instagram. And Selfie is
I'm going to Selfie Photo Booth is the Instagram handle.
I think it's Sweet Steaming.
That's what I was just going to confirm.
Okay. Please hold. Yeah, so we're finalizing the website right now. So by the time this airs, it should be all set. It's
Say
pretty
the
exciting.
say the Instagram one more time for the photo booth.
The photo booth, Sweet Selfie's Instagram handle is at Sweet Selfie Photo Booth. Our website is sweetselfiemaine.com, Maine like the state. And yeah, those are the two prevalent areas to find us online. My business is The Messy Cookie, and you can find that at themessycookie.com. You can also find me on Instagram at the.messy.cookie. I'm also that same handle on TikTok and Facebook as well.
And if you're interested in a space in Portland, the Photo Kitchen, it's Photo Kitchen Maine, I think, as well. And then at the.photo.kitchen on Instagram.
Cool.
So
And I will,
photokitchenmaine
I'll link all of those and make sure everything works. All the links are there. But I'm sure if somebody reached out through your personal businesses and they were looking for something else, you guys will get them in the right place. Well, thank you both so much. It's always lovely to catch up. And it's been beautiful watching your journey together, and I am very proud of you guys from afar for what you have created. But somebody in Colorado should probably book the photo booth, because then you'd
Yes.
also be able to come visit me. So,
We would
and
love
I
to
have room
chat.
for you to stay now. So,
Yay!
yeah.
Awesome.
RJ keeps laughing because I keep just inviting people to stay in our house because we have a guest room, and I'm so excited to have a guest. And we have an upstairs living room and a downstairs living room with couches. I'm like, we could sleep like 10 people here. And he's like, can you not invite everyone to sleep in our house? Men. But
So cute.
yeah. Well, thank you
You so
guys
much.
so much.
Thanks.
We'll catch up more soon. For anybody listening that wants to hear more about what I do as a creative strategist, you can find me on Instagram at lifejensway, or my website is jensway.com. Two N's on Jen always. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys again, and I will talk to everybody next time on Your Next Business Bestie. Have a wonderful week.